Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gale Galleon. You might know me from the first stage of Avalum's group stage production, EN. Wow, that couldn't have gone any worse. My name is Gale Galleon of first stage production, EN's group Avalum. My credentials fall under Silly Guy, Dork, Himbo, and very much for the homies. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys, informing you all, a lot of the things that you need to know before doing an audition. And I know that this is obviously aimed towards the first stage production Gen 2 auditions that are going around right now, but just know that the advice that I'm going to be providing today will apply to more than just first stage production. Let's say you're doing an audition for a different VTuber company. This will also help with that. I highly recommend you stick around to listen to it. If you're trying to do a job interview, you'll find a lot of advice in here will apply to exactly just that. Even if it's for like an office job, maybe a teaching role, if you're trying to maybe join the military even, these are all things that you need to know. Well, not everything, you know, obviously there's like, you can pick and choose. Some of the stuff will apply to it. I want to try to make today's audition tip advice stream as broad and general as I can, while also pinpointing the notes that you need to know for the actual audition. Of course, today I will be mostly focusing on first stage productions auditions, but if there's any questions that are related to auditioning that you guys have in chat, after I am done with the main portion of today's stream, I will be open to listening to other people's questions. If you feel like I didn't answer something poignantly enough, or if you need further elaboration on something, we'll get to that to the very end of the stream. Today is I'm a silly guy, but today I'm putting the glasses on, and I'm gonna put the bird away too. The bird is not going to be here to distract you. Pip will be sitting aside for this. This is going to be a one-on-one between us. I'm trying to take this as seriously as I can, because this is extremely important information. Like, seriously important information. This is life-changing information, and I'm not even joking. It's literally life-changing information. I'm going to whip all of the information you need to know into your brains by the end of the night. If you need to, the VOD will always stay up. You guys can always listen to it again in the future. And also, if there's anybody who does timestamps in the chat, this is the only time I'll ever ask for it, probably. This would help out a lot of people in the future if you are here to timestamp this video for the advice. I have a list of different questions that came from Twitter. I also have a roulette wheel that I will be spinning to go through them. Currently, at the moment, I have 24 different questions on this wheel. I know on the tweet I said I will not go through all of them, but high key, I was expecting a lot more questions. I was very surprised. So I should be able to go through all of the questions tonight, and also some extras at the very end. All right. If anybody has any questions right now, write it down on a notepad so you don't forget it, because this could take some time. I am a yapper after all. But without further ado, Sensei Galleon will be spinning the first wheel. Here we go. You guys can't hear the wheel spinning. It lands on 2. We're gonna check out question number 2 first, everybody. Question: why are you so handsome? Hold it for the end of the stream. Not just kidding. All right. This question says, this is actually no, I'm not gonna say the person's name. You know who, if you ask this question, you know who you are. They asked actually a couple of questions in this one. There's a few. They say, what do you think are the most important skills and qualities someone should have as a VTuber? How should someone deal with sudden scuff during the interview stream? And what are the top 3 important tips you'd give someone before an interview? That's perfect, actually. There's 2 sort of like specific questions, as well as one that's very broad that I think a lot of people can pull from, even if you're not here to audition. So, what do you think are some of the most important skills and qualities someone should have as a VTuber? Off of the top of my head, you have... I think This is very stupid. You have to be a good person. You just have to be a good person, and you have to be understanding of other people. I think that is probably the best quality you could have as a VTuber. If you're somebody that is easily upset, if you butt heads with other people frequently, if something that someone says that isn't even directed towards you makes you so angry that it puts you into a funk, those are things you need to work on if you want to be a VTuber. Because from many different angles, a VTuber will be receiving criticism, they'll be receiving feedback, and if you're easily upset with feedback and criticism, you will not get better ever as a VTuber. Some important skills and qualities. I think an important skill is also being able to multitask. If you find yourself struggling to multitask, that's not a bad thing. I think it's a very good skill, because you're not able to see what's on my screen right now, but of course I have all of you guys that I need to pay attention to. Even though today the chat interaction will be a little bit limited, but during a typical stream, you have to be able to focus on chats, be able to bounce back off of them, because obviously I know you guys would hate it if the chat didn't exist. If there was no chat and it was just me yapping on a screen, there's like no community. Being able to multitask is extremely important, because there's so many different things on my screen right now that you are not able to see that I have to focus on and be cognizant of. Maybe there's an error on my OBS that I need to address. You guys will start shouting, scuff, 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 scuff. I'm not even the best at multitasking. I consider myself very good at multitasking, but there's always room for improvement. And I think that's another quality that you should strive to perfect, is be willing to know that there's always room for improvement, because that's how you do better in the future, is understanding where your weaknesses are and knowing. Do you guys think it would be better if I put the question on stream? It might be better, right? So you guys know what I'm talking about. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do a thing really quick. Do not make that source visible. Picture. I'm gonna do that. I'm going to do that. Okay. Let me see. Where is it? Yanni? Right here? Is it not opening up? Wow, that's crazy. Why is it not opening up? You know what's great is the second question on this is actually, how should someone deal with sudden scuff during the interview stream? Well, Exhibit A. If there's ever scuff, you have to know how to just power through it, honestly, and be entertaining while doing it. The scuff comes in many different shapes and sizes. In this case, my scuff is this giant black box here. That is not my question. There is something there that I can't show on screen. Okay, I apologize for that. Being able to roll the punches is an extremely important skill in VTubing. If you can't, you will crumble, you will buckle, and you will fall. Scuff is always going to happen, no matter how much of a perfect streamer you are. It just happens. Sometimes you can't stop it. You guys, how many times have you guys shouted at YouTube Kun for messing up my stream? If you don't have a very strong will, a couple of mistakes could break you. If you do have a strong will, you can turn those couple of mistakes into a clippable moment. Let me refer back to my Infinite Craft stream. Do you guys remember when I unplugged my phone and my entire stream crashed and I had to reset my entire PC? You guys thought that shit was hilarious. That was really funny. I thought it was hilarious. Scuff doesn't always have to be a negative thing. Being able to turn a negative into a positive is another important trait for a VTuber to have. Sometimes you can't, I understand. There are a lot of things that are negatives that just, they boil deep inside. They kill you from the inside out. But Scuff can be something infinitely entertaining. So treat Scuff like your best friend, because it's gonna happen. You weren't present for the stream, but just hearing about it is funny. It was hilarious. I clipped it myself. I made my own clip on Twitter and posted. That was my first Pips clips from me, myself, and I, Meow. And the last question from this is what are a top 3 important tips you would give someone before an interview? These 3 tips might be difficult to perform. The first one is you're allowed to be nervous, but accept that you are nervous. You can't change the fact that you are nervous. No matter how much you do deep breaths and stuff like that, the nerves are going to stick with you the entire time. Don't try to get rid of the nerves. Just try to walk with them, you know, slowly. Make it natural. Don't make your interview robotic. This is tip number 2. Don't make your interview robotic. Make it personalized. Make it about you. You're trying to audition for a talent role, in this case at least. So you need to bring yourself to the table. You shouldn't wait for the interviewers to sort of like lead you on. Lead them on. Explain in the interview. If you make it to the interview, explain to them why you need to be with them. Take charge of the interview. Of course, you want to do that with grace. If they try to speak in between you, of course, give them some headway. But you have to, you're not supposed to be just returning the ball. You should be slamming the ball back in their court, so to say. A third tip that's really good for an interview would be natural. Don't try to fake your personality during the interview to appear as someone as you're not. There's a thing as like faking confidence, and I think faking confidence can be good, but don't be somebody that you're not. If, let's say for example, in FSP's case, you're auditioning for the teal character, you have an idea of what that teal character's personality would be if they were just a character, and you try to sort of role play into the character. Don't do that. I would say do not do that, because I can guarantee most people cannot keep up a character for an entire stream, much less for the entirety of their streaming career. So what you need to present to them is your most authentic self. You need to be able to talk to them and be friendly and appear as though you know what you're doing. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing, but you have to at least try to appear like you know what you're doing. And if you don't feel comfortable with a question, be honest. Be honest that you don't understand. Ask them to elaborate further if you need them to, but don't lie. Do not ever lie in an interview. Be your most authentic self. All right, that is the first question here on the wheel. You mean do not do roleplay stuff in the interview? Absolutely not. Don't roleplay. If the personality that you're putting into the audition is just you, and that's just how you are, then that's not roleplay. But if, let's say that I'm Gale Galleons of Riz during the entire interview, isn't that a bit weird if it's not actually me? Because Gale Galleons of Riz isn't me. He's someone else. He's a fabrication of my mind. He shows up on stream to interrupt and try to swoo moms. He's not Gale Galleon. He's Gale Galleons of Riz. He's his own persona. Just be you. In my case, I would be Gale. I'm Gale during my meetings with management all the time. I curse in front of them. I'm a rowdy son of a bitch. I'm just me. Be yourself. Don't let the voices in your head win. Noted. Yeah. I mean, that can apply for many things. Don't let the voices in your head win. All right, we're gonna spin the wheel again, everybody. Let me remove 2 from the board. All right, here we go. Let's see. Dore. Number 23. Let's see what number 23 is. Number 23 says, with regard to the requirement of you must be enthusiastic about taking on new challenges as a VTuber with us, what kind of challenges should be expected? That's a really good question. This is a really freaking good question, because I'm going to hammer in the same thing that I've been explaining since the group collab for audition tips. Streaming is more than streaming. The streaming is happening even when you guys can't see it. I'm still a streamer off stream, you know? There's a lot of things you need to prepare. As far as challenges go, you have this actually applies to the like the same question before. There's gonna be a lot of people that are judging you, and that's a challenge. Is Do you accept the criticisms that people give you? Or do you ignore them because that's not true? Because the audience isn't always true. They're not always right. You might receive criticism and say, oh, this person's voice doesn't match the character. That's a challenge. That's immediately a challenge. You might think, someone might think that you're not fit for the role. I think a lot of people will know that over time, even if initially you think that somebody's voice or their characteristic or personality doesn't match the image on screen, that doesn't mean that they're right. That doesn't mean that you're not fit for the role. How many people were expecting a much more like musky sounding pirate, a little bit more hardened and stuff, you know, someone who's been sailing on the seas, eating beans for years on end, a little bit more burly? That's not what you got. I'm me. This is the pirate that you got. And this is the pirate that people are gonna have to settle with, because A, I am my best version of myself, and B, I'm not gonna let somebody mold me into what they want me to be. Maybe I made a mistake though. Let's say that there's a challenge that I face where I made a mistake and I know it is a mistake. Learning from mistakes that you make is another challenge that you'll make as a VTuber. I make mistakes all the time. It doesn't stop. You never stop making mistakes. So, just like with the scuff, get used to mistakes. The mistakes can be funny. They could be educational. I think the biggest challenge as a VTuber is learning how to be better. Because you're never the best you can ever be. You can always learn something new. Another challenge is... Let me think. Let me try to be a little bit less broad. For me, I'm gonna be extremely real, okay, everybody? Dealing with numbers. How many times have you guys looked at the numbers of a VTuber compared to another VTuber? And you think to yourself, A is better than B because numbers. Right. I don't think anybody needs to speak up because that happens all the time. What is am I crazy? What the? 1 second. Am I dealing with scuff again? Okay, never mind. Everyone's just listening. Sorry. I thought chat froze. I thought chat just froze. What was I saying? I should not have let myself get distracted. What was I saying? What was I saying? What was I saying? My brain moves in too many different directions at once. I need to focus up. Numbers, thank you. You can always look at numbers and start judging yourself or other people. Thank you guys. I know you guys are very, very patiently listening, and I appreciate that. I was getting paranoid though. I was getting a little paranoid. I am a victim of being neurotic about numbers. But I think I can confidently say I've never let the numbers win. They're a learning experience. If you look at the numbers, you can always tell, they always tell a story, you know? And it's up to you to be able to decipher whether or not you need to improve from those numbers or if everything is fine from those numbers. There's always room for improvement, but maybe there's not something... Oh, hang on a second, before I go on a tangent. The numbers tell the truth, but not the whole truth. Ugh, hang on a second. No, this is stupid. Okay. I think, let me just wrap it up and say that despite everything, don't... These are like half truths and half lies that I'm saying right now. Because I think numbers are very important to take into account, but also at the same time, you have to find your own balance, you know? Let me start with an example. Voices of the Void was my worst performing series for a while, but people grew to love it. Just because it didn't have the best numbers doesn't mean it's bad for your channel. In the same instance, Just because Minecraft has really good numbers sometimes doesn't mean it's always the best for your channel. If you play Minecraft all the time, you'll sort of like burn out of it eventually. You'll ruin it for yourself and maybe other people. So just take with a grain of salt the truth that numbers can bring. I think that's a really difficult challenge, is accepting that numbers can sort of guide you in a direction, but whether it's a good or bad direction, you have to sort of figure out. So it's about learning about yourself again. I think that is a couple of good challenges. YouTube numbers, maybe from just algorithm luck too. There's a science behind it as well. There's also a science behind the algorithm that if you're smart, you can actually pick up on it and take advantage of it. But in some cases, you might sacrifice your own integrity for the sake of numbers. So I guess just do what you think is right for your channel. It's a case-by-case basis. So you kind of have to make the choice on your own, sadly. Thank you for the question. Let me get rid of it. Get rid of number 23. Goodbye. Okay. Next up. Being objective rather than opinionated about numbers. Yeah, being objective is very important with numbers. The next question is number 8 on this wheel. Number 8 is... They say this. There's 2 questions in it, actually. Can you give advice to those who want to apply or audition, but don't really have much experience when it comes to singing and speaking Japanese? The second question is, if there are some things about streaming that you aren't familiar about, will they teach you how to do it? I'm going to answer that one immediately. No. You will not be taught how to stream. In some cases, you could be taught how to read the numbers, like I was talking about before. In some cases, you'll gain a little bit more information about how to analyze. But as far as streaming and like working OBS, being entertaining as a streamer, it's a pretty broad question. Streaming, like things about streaming that you aren't familiar about, that can pertain to a lot of things. But no, these are a lot of things that you will be expected to have a grasp on as you come on board. For the first question, for somebody who wants to apply an audition but they don't have a lot of knowledge about singing in Japanese, for me, I know a lot of people say I'm really good at singing. Thank you very much. I don't have technique down. I don't have a lot of technique for singing down. I do my best and I'm really good at learning in the moment. But as far as singing skill, I've not been taught. I've not been trained. Everything that I do has been as a hobby or for fun. So if you don't have much experience singing, there are tons of free vocal practices you can do online. And I'll say that if you're not comfortable singing, do vocal warm-ups first. You'll notice a drastic improvement in your vocal ability. So, but it's really just a matter of getting used to singing. I think if you are going to join FSP, come into it with the intention of getting better at singing and start now. And for speaking Japanese, that's it's nice. Being able to speak Japanese, I think, would look really good on the audition form. And it would be even better if you could speak Japanese in your audition video. But as far as a criteria for making it in and making it out, don't think that because you don't know Japanese, you won't be able to make it. If you have an outstanding talent, if you have an outstanding skill as a streamer, that will overshadow it completely. So just remember that in the audition, you need to be... I would say the only criteria that you need to have is being experienced as a streamer. I think it's very important. That's not 100% the case, but I would say that is probably one of the most important factors, is knowing how to stream. Everything else is a bonus. If you have other things that you can bring to the table, highlight them. Highlight those above all else. If you aren't good at Japanese, don't tell them you're not good at Japanese. They don't need to know that. What they need to know is what you are good at. Don't ever bring up what you're bad at. That doesn't look good. You say, oh, well, my Japanese isn't that great. Sorry. That sounds terrible. As an auditionee or as an auditioner, as an audition reviewer, I would think that highlighting your negative would show insecurity. I think with auditions, you need to be very confident that you'll get the position. Confidence is probably how many? Okay, take a shot every time I say is probably. Confidence, giga important. Very, very important. If you're not confident, then your talents will need to pick up the slack. I hope that answers your question. If you're in chat right now, I feel like I didn't answer that one the best that I could. If you're in chat right now, let me know if I can elaborate on that. If you know that's your question. If not, I'll move on to the next one. What if you're confident in your insecurity? Honestly, that's an interesting case. If you're confident in your insecurity, you could play a really good Inkya character, which is a character that's like very timid. If you're a very confident, timid person, that could work. That could work. It shows that you understand your strengths. Twisting it is the most important part. Twisting a negative into a positive is also very strong too. But thank you very much for the question. I don't think I see you in chat at the moment, unless your Twitter name is different. Thank you for the question. Let me get rid of this, and we're going to move on to the next one. Make the best of your negatives. If you could spin your negatives into a positive, that's pretty strong. That is like a plus 2 times multiplier to your score. Make it fun. Make your auditions fun. Make it entertaining. Make it interesting. Make it about you. If some of your negatives can be funny, make it about you. So being like, you need to hire me, but like funny is a good thing then? Just double checking. Don't get confidence mixed up with cockiness. There's a very fine line. Confidence is not spoken, it's shown. Cockiness is spoken, not shown. I hope that makes sense. My ass is confident and cocky. But that's just to be funny though. I'm not usually a very cocky person. I would actually say that I have I'm probably not the most I'm not the most confident all the time, but I can definitely come off as confident, right? Like when I was playing Overwatch with Cass before, I was totally eating shit. I'm not. My skill was garbanzo beans. You meant, of course, with showing your skills alongside. Yeah, for sure. Just don't come off as cocky. Don't come off as an asshole. Unless you're playing the asshole character up. If you're playing an asshole character, you can maybe get away with it. Just be tactful about it, you know? There's a lot of room. There's a lot of room for you to be able to do what you want. Do it tactfully, though. The next question is number 11 on the list. This question says... there's a section of the video, but also a section of anything else. What could someone provide in... Okay. A section of the video and a section of anything else they should know. What could someone provide in that section that will differ than what's in the video? Okay, good question. The video... Let's start with the video because it'll make more sense if I start from there. Your video is supposed to be a sweet, juicy little nugget of everything you have to offer. Short and sweet. It shouldn't overstay its welcome. The video will go over how you act on stream. The video should go over what sort of like, maybe like talking patterns you have, what type of voice you have, how you interact with different things. And it should also highlight your skills and talents. Now, the portion where you add other information that they should know should be all of the boring stuff. All of your boring stuff. None of you, okay, hang on a second. Let me rephrase. None of your boring stuff should be put in the video. If your boring stuff is like video editing, like say like I'm a master video editor, I've got like a bachelor's in video editing, stuff like that. You can mention it on your video, but don't be like, check it out, watch me edit. Pew, pew, pew. It should just kind of like flow together with the rest of your video. Your skills should speak for themselves. If you want to bring it up like briefly, that's fine. But don't forget, you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to show off all of your skills. Use them wisely. Everything else that you can't fit into the video that you think would be less entertaining or less interesting, put that onto the written portion of the audition. form. Kind of like show, don't tell. Show, don't tell in the video. And then when it comes to the form, tell because you've already shown. I guess. It's better to demonstrate than yep. Yeah, nobody cares about what you have to say. They care about what you can do. Sorry. If you tell people like, oh yeah, I let's say like let me roleplay as Cash. Oh, I was a master's player in Overwatch in every role. Okay, cool guy. Show me all of your clips. Show me some sweet frags. Show me some evidence that you are a god Overwatch gamer. Say like just like flash on the screen, maybe like put some images of like top 500, top 500, top 500, and then show a little bit of gameplay. They'll pick up the message. You don't need to tell them and explain how long you trained as an Overwatch gamer. That stuff's boring. In the written portion, tell them how many years you put into the game. Stuff like that, you know? I hope that explains it. Show, don't tell for the video. And on the written portion, tell them everything that you were not able to show in the video. Thank you very much for the question. That was number 11. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and do the next one.
Error establishing database connection.
Shut up! Next. Next up is number 24.
Give it up for number 24.
Sorry, I goofed out. Sensei's not supposed to goof out today. This question says, are there any taboos to avoid that people might not know about? For example, I remember someone mentioning how you should unlist your audition video. So that in particular, unlisting your audition video is not a taboo. That is a, I'm pretty sure, wait, let me go double check the audition form. Because the audition form should be telling you to not do that. It should straight up tell you, do not put as anything else except for unlisted. That's just like a requirement of the rules. If you can't follow that rule, then you're immediately written off. It shows that you're not capable of following orders, you know, of following the rules. Let me go look at the talent sheet really quick. Give me 1 second. Apply now. Let's see. The video. Please create a roughly 5-minute video in which you introduce yourself. By the way, they say roughly 5 minutes. So that's going to let you guys know it can be a little bit under or a little bit over, but around 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be exactly 5 minutes. Please create a roughly 5-minute video in which you introduce yourself and or stream in character. Upload it as an unlisted video on YouTube. That is simply just the rules. So I think it's still a good question. Taboos to avoid in the audition phase. Taboos to avoid would be don't apply for like multiple companies at the same time. Focus your attention on one, and after the audition phases are over, if you didn't make it in, then you can work on moving on towards the next one. So probably focus invest your energy into one thing at a time. Another taboo. There's not a lot of taboos per se, because the audition is extremely broad in what you can do for it. No, I'm having a hard time thinking of what you shouldn't do. I guess a taboo would... This isn't even a taboo. This is just my pet peeve. Don't make an audition where you just introduce yourself at the very beginning. This is a pro tip for everybody. Listen up right now. Don't just introduce yourself at the very beginning. Don't give them your life story at the very beginning. It's not a taboo, but it's a pet peeve of mine, and I can guarantee you there are 3,000 other people that are gonna be like, hello, my name is John Doe, and I am auditioning for the role of Red. Here's a few things that I think are really good about me. No. Blow them up right from the very beginning. Let's say, for example, you're a really good... let's not use anything that you need like actual like technical skill for. If you have a talent that you're really proud of, show that to them immediately. If you're a good voice actor, show them how good of a voice actor you are right there. Maybe do a little role play with yourself. Maybe back and forth with yourself. Maybe...
hello? Is this thing on? Hello?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, do you have any advice for the people in chat right now? Like, they are looking for real life-changing advice for this audition.
Oh, that's simple. Well, basically, you just shouldn't be in the right mind. If you're thinking like a normal person, get rid of that person right now. Kill them and reincarnate as somebody new.
Oh, that's really good advice. Be someone that you think you could have never been before. Be someone you think you never could have been before. Basically, you just have to wow them right from the get-go. Use the first... Pretend that your audition only lasts 1 minute. That's my challenge to everybody auditioning. Pretend that your audition only lasts 1 minute. If you drag it on, it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be so boring, and I'm gonna have fallen asleep by the 3-minute mark, and basically everything was gonna go past my head. Make it interesting. Make me want to listen more. Maybe there's some slow parts of your audition video. Make the beginning so good that your slow parts are even more interesting to me. Okay? Okay. The first impression is the one that sticks with people the longest. Exactly. That's not a joke. The first impressions count. Regular auditions, job interviews. Your first impression should make them want to hear more about what you have to offer. It shouldn't be the barrier to entry. If you have an introduction right there and you don't sound like you're invested in what you're doing, so neither is the people listening. Okay? I know that's not necessarily taboos. I really can't think of any taboos. Maybe don't bring up other companies in your audition video. Don't say like, unless it's like a part of your like resume. Unless it's a part of your resume, that's okay to bring it up. But don't bring up other companies. Don't say like, I was thinking about going for this one, but I was trying out for this one. Oh yeah, that's a good taboo. Don't tell them that you're the second option. That would be really dumb. Don't say that. Don't say like, I was thinking about giving it a shot. If you sound like you have 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out of the door, they're also going to have 1 foot out of the door. That's probably the only real taboo I can think of at the time now. If I think of more later, I'll just shout it out loud. Thank you very much for the question. Alrighty, next up is let's see. Spin that wheel. Maybe no self-introduction. I would say I think there are ways to introduce yourself that isn't hi, my name is. If I hear a hi, my name is, I am just like, I don't care. If you're gonna do a hi, my name is, at least make it interesting. If that's how you need to go about it to get your point across, at least be different about it, okay? You need to be different. You have to be different. There's a lot of people applying. You don't want to look like another fish in the sea. You want to look like the great white with its fin above the water that gets people's attention. Number 19 on the list. What things should potential talents avoid doing in their audition videos? This is sort of similar in the same vein. Thank you very much for the question, by the way. Things to avoid in your audition videos. I'll sort of just summarize what I was saying before. Don't be boring in the beginning. The beginning should be your most interesting portion. The end should be your second most interesting portion. The middle can be slow, but make it so that they want to listen to your middle. Okay? It's kind of like a booster, like like in racing games, there's like little boosters on the track, like in Mario Kart. You could go the entire map. Okay, actually, no, it's even better. Make the beginning like you're holding the ignition like 2 seconds in Mario Kart. You know how it gives you that little boost? You want to get that little boost. You want to get that little boost so you're in good setting for the rest of the race. Acceleration. You want to accelerate. You don't want to just hold a steady momentum. If I feel like you're going like 30 miles an hour through the entire video, it's going to be boring. Maybe 30 miles is pretty fast. 30 miles an hour is pretty fast. But there should be highs, lows, highs, lows. I think everything should be like the climax and then the lull. But don't let the lull last for too long because you want another climax again. You need to keep climaxing. Sorry. Avoid doing for the audition video. Don't drag it out. If it's close to 5 minutes, wrap things up. Wrap it up succinctly. Just, I'm gonna hammer it in. You don't want your audition video to be a drag. Highs and lows. What else? You can curse in your audition video. But again, you want to make things tactful. Don't make it crass. Don't make it crude. Don't use politically incorrect language also. And don't allude to anything illegal. I think if it breaks the law, don't do it. Maybe you're also a pirate on the high seas. That should never come up. Don't do that. Don't say anything that you wouldn't want your mom to hear. I would know. Anyway, thank you for the question. I'm gonna take that off. And let's see up next. Pokemon stream. It wasn't on my channel. I'm fine. Teehee. Number 4. Bro, what happened? The chancla. Do you have any recommendations or advice in terms of including gameplay for the intro video? I'm assuming by intro video you mean for the audition video, in which case, go at it. Absolutely. If you feel like something that you're adding is integral to showing off your personality, skills, or talents, absolutely do it. I don't think there is no set way to do an audition video. I think the only guideline for the audition video is that it should have highs, lows, highs again to keep their interest throughout the entire thing. Use the lows to do a little bit of talking and explain some portions about yourself maybe. But then bring them back in with something of a banger. If your banger is showing them some badass clip, maybe you're playing GTA 5 and your car did a sick flip and you had the craziest reaction to it and your buddy was sitting in the passenger next to you freaking out, and then you say some cool line like, yeah, I guess we really do have 9 lives. Or something corny like that. That can make them laugh. That could be entertaining. You just want to make sure that what you're adding to the video isn't not entertaining. There's no limitations to what you should add, except for like illegal things. You know, obvious things like that are not politically incorrect. Things that you can show on stream. How about that? Things that you're able to show on stream is what you should be showing. Vine boom. Vine boom. I don't think I have much elaboration on this one. Including gameplay for the audition video. Yeah, do it. If you think that's a strong part of your audition, do it. Let's say if it's not gameplay, maybe you have a talent of, maybe you're a very talented juggler. It might not be applicable to VTubing, but it shows that you have a skill and that you've like learned a trade. Show them some juggling really quick. It might, because it's not applicable to VTubing, I think things that are not directly applicable to VTubing, don't highlight them for too long, but if you think it's interesting, yeah, show them. Absolutely show them. If your talents are music related, how would you show them without boring them? Give them a snippet. Give them like a 15-second snippet right at the beginning. If you're a singer, show them like the crescendo to a song that you've done. Show them the hook. Show them the drop. Don't show them the melody or whatever. I'm not a music person, so I don't know a lot of the terminology. Show them like the hook. Show them like a banger chorus. Show them a crescendo. If you make music, don't show it for too long. You want to give them the best part of your song. Let me look at chat really quick. With the time limit to the audition video, how much do you suggest putting in of each thing that you're proud of? It's really hard to say. You kind of have to have a vibe for it. You have to understand. Like, rewatch your video. Make your video. Rewatch your video. Watch your video as you're making it. Say like you've made your audition video and you've got 1 minute's worth of content. Watch your 1 minute. Did you get bored? Did you think you're the funniest guy on the planet? If you think you were hilarious and your intention is gauged, then you're on good track. But if you think that things feel too long, you need to find a way to shrink it down and make it not a drag. Biggest advice, don't let your audition video be a drag. Just got your, don't know if you answered this already, but can you make your video 1 minute with good quality? Absolutely. Just don't go over, actually, with the wording on this audition video, I would say you probably should use more time, because I feel like if you don't use, I know in Zanny's case, he said he didn't use all of his time. Like, actually, he only used about half of it, but he had such a banger audition video, like, it worked for him. If in 1 minute you can showcase all of your talents, make it interesting, then I think that's okay. But I suggest using your time wisely. You have a lot of time to show off a lot of your skills. If you think that all of your skills are shown off in 1 minute, then by all means. If you think that's your best audition video that you can make, then 1 minute's fine. But I highly, highly, highly stress that you have a lot of time to, you know, show a lot more about yourself. I feel like 1 minute's a very small amount of time. Next up, let's do the next one. Thank you very much for the question, as well as you in chat. Thank you for the question. Next up, we've got number 17. Number 17. This one says, oops, double clicked. No, I didn't. Double click. Do they expect a specific quality of content that is submitted, or are they just okay if you have any content to share? As I'm not the one that's ever conducted auditions, I cannot with 100% confidence give you the answer that you probably want. All I can do is assume. So, with my assumption going forward, I will tell you, they probably have a certain level of quality that they expect. Depends on what you mean by quality, but as a streamer, you're a showman, and if you don't show showman-like qualities, I think it's gonna look really bad for you. You might be very talented and skilled, but if you can't use those talents to show how much of a good entertainer you are, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. Streamers are entertainers. If you can't take what you're doing and make it really fun for other people, then it's kind of moot. It doesn't matter as much if you have talent, if your talents can't be used to make an enjoyable experience for people. Because you will be live, and you do need to provide content that can be done live, you know? So I think there is a certain level of quality that they would expect. They would expect you to show off how well you perform live. I think that's probably the only level of quality they expect, is being a good live entertainer. Obviously, the audition video is pre-recorded, right? In my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, this is not a fact or anything like that, I would say that you could have a good balance of pre-made scripted content on top of unscripted ad-lib content. Show them the best of both of you, because in certain situations as a streamer, you will have scripted stuff that you will do on stream. Like, there's sometimes I do these cheeky little skits, and there's also times that I'm just ripping off of whatever Haka Bonzoin says, you know? You showing off both of those qualities, I think, is extremely important. Specific qualities aside from that, I think on a technical level, if your PC cannot handle streaming, I think that's like... I think that should be obvious if your PC cannot stream. Yes, let me double check something real quick. Okay. On the FSP main sites, they do say that they can provide essentials with you to give you a better streaming quality experience, such as iPhone, PC, or microphones. So they can accommodate you to some degree if your setup is not the best. But I think it's good if you already have a certain level of stream quality. And if you think that you have already shown that, then use some clips of yourself performing well, you know. I always go back to clips. I think clips are really good. Clips are super duper good. They catch you in the moment. They catch you when you're at your most natural. Let me see, anything else? Specific qualities of content. I guess try not to sound cringe. I know it's hard to say, but it's hard to, like, sometimes you can't tell if you do or don't. But you gotta be your own best critique sometimes. If you think you sound a little cringe. If it's an endearing kind of cringe, that could be okay. But don't be the Chunibyo in class with the bandaged up left arm that's holding off 1,000 years of, like, sealed spirits that are constantly eating away your body. If you can make that interesting, and fun, do it. But if you take it too seriously, it might come off as a little cringe. Just have a good balance of reality to comedy. Have a good balance. You need both. You need both. You need to be pragmatic, you need to be reasonable, and you also need to be entertaining. It's a dance. It absolutely is a dance. So could you include previously recorded clips of you into your intro video? Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Every audition video is different, but I think clips are really good at highlighting some of your traits while you've streamed before. So if you are a streamer and you have clips, I encourage you to use them. Show off your best clip. Show off the funniest part of your time. Show off the coolest moments. Show off some of your most emotional moments, maybe. Make it engaging. Make it engaging. There's no rules on how you're allowed to make it engaging. Thank you very much for the question. Oh man, I suck at dancing.
Oof! If you can't dance, I think you should just give up.
No, I'm just kidding. I can't dance either. I can't dance for shit. That was a joke, of course. Do not give up if you can't dance. There's always time to learn. There's always time to learn. If you're not a confident streamer, but you're interested in auditioning, I would recommend you try auditioning. If anything else, to experience what it's like to audition. If you've never made an audition video before, do it at least once, so that you're ready for the next time you do it if you don't make it in, you know? Next up. Except if there are clips for your time at a different company. No. I would say you can include those. Like I was saying before, if you worked at a different company and those are clips from that company, include them. That's a part of your resume. They deserve to know that. It's unless like you're under NDA, then don't do that. If you're under NDA, do not use it. But if it's relevant experience and the clip that you used is relevant experience, use your relevant experience. What I would say, what I meant by don't reference like other companies before, what I meant is don't say like, hey, I was interested in this company before, you know? They should never come up unless it's a part of your resume. Number 20 is next. So let's look at number 20. And really quick in chat, do you think auditioning once and you didn't present yourself well, would that mess up your chances for a sec? No, it wouldn't. If anything, if you had a really crappy audition you think sucked balls and you audition again, all it can do is make you look better if you've improved. But you have to improve. You have to improve. If your second audition is the same quality as your first one, I mean, it's taken on a case-by-case basis. They're not going to say, oh, this person's audition sucked before, so, you know, this one's going to suck too. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not pretty sure. Every audition video will be given the same fair shake. Okay? Audition. Get your experience in. Don't think that you have one chance in a lifetime. Go for it. Learn. I've auditioned before. I'm an experienced auditioner, guys. I'm an experienced auditioner. Thank you very much for the question. This one says, for me, the most confusing thing about the audition process is the video that you have to showcase. How is that supposed to look like? Unedited 5 minutes of gameplay, compilation of stream fragments. Both of those, if that's all the stream, if that's all the video is, either one of those, if you have unedited 5 minutes of gameplay, or you have 5 minutes of unedited compilation of stream fragments, I guess it would technically be edited. If you have just a compilation of stream fragments, I think both of those are terrible auditions. I think both of those would be very bad auditions. I would say that obviously there's no limit to what your audition video can look like. You can have clips right there from 0 seconds. You can have some clips. If they're the best clips in the world, that looks good on you. If they're dull clips of you playing Rust and you're just walking around in the grass and you break a rock and then you get shot from the distance, you go, ah! I don't think that shows off your character. I think being able to decipher which clips are really good is very important if you plan on doing that. If it's like a 15-second clip where the action only happens at the last second, I would dissuade you from adding that clip. That sounds like a bad clip. Because 15 seconds of, of 0 engagements for just 1 second at the very end sounds really bad to me. Sounds really boring. A compilation of stream fragments or unedited 5 minutes of gameplay. Do not do that. Do not do that. I'm just going to tell you right now. Do not just have 5 minutes of unedited anything. I think you should learn some basics to editing. You don't have to be a professional editor. I'm not a professional editor myself. I could touch up a video. I can cut a video into bits and put them together. Do some very basic transitions. I think the most important thing is scripting, actually. Not scripting per se, but take your 5 minutes, make like a timeline. I want, if you are serious about the audition video, draw like a little line on a piece of paper. That is 5 minutes. Section it out into what you want to display on your video. So like the first 1 minute, like I've said before, take that section. That should be everything that is interesting about you right there in 1 minute. Maybe for the at the 1 minute portion to like the 1 minute 30-second portion, talk about a little bit about yourself. Maybe if you want to introduce yourself, then I think that's fine. Okay, yeah. I said don't introduce yourself at the beginning of the video, but that doesn't mean you should not introduce yourself. At some point, you should introduce yourself. Introducing yourself should also be interesting, though. Don't say, hi, my name is John Doe at the 1 minute mark. Be like, whoa, hey, didn't see you there. Yeah, I've got these cool little, like maybe like if you're a character, it does say to do it in character. So role play your character up a little bit. Do role play your character up a little bit. Play it up. Make it fun. Use your streamer persona. It is supposed to be entertaining. Your audition video, you should be able to show it to your mom, your dad, your friends, and they should be able to enjoy your audition video. Roscoe's, I looked at that guy's video and I rewatched it a bunch of times. I had a great time watching it. It was freaking fantastic. It should give you that same energy, of you wanting to rewatch your audition video again. If you think some parts are slow or lacking, review it and maybe adjust the way that you block out your video. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna need y'all to listen up. I'm gonna start this audition. Yeah, exactly. Hook them first and then slide in your intro. Exactly. Yes, you got to get in them DMs, but you don't start with a... Listen, you know those guys that go to bars and they use pickup lines? Don't be the pickup line person. That's boring. What you should do is... I don't know. Wait, what do people do at bars? What do people do at clubs? I'm bailing out. I don't have any first-hand experience. I usually drink by myself. But I agree. Swoop, make it interesting. Be like bang, bang, bang. Impress them. Be like Superman swooping down to save an old lady, and then be like, oh hey, did you know I'm Superman, by the way? Yeah, I know. Kind of crazy. I hope that gets my point across. I feel like I was a little bit abstract with that one. Do a flip, then slide in to say hey. Yeah, for real, for real. Okay, next up. Let's see. Thank you for the question. Next up's gonna be number 12. Cool. Next one says, okay, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's still trying to find their streaming style or figuring out how they want to present themselves in the audition? Beyond the obvious, be yourself. I have bad news for you. I have good news and bad news. The bad news is you should be yourself, but you should be a better version of yourself. I think most people's streaming styles, this isn't for everybody. Some people are just goddamn great actors, but your streaming style should be your actual personality, but the version of yourself that you want everybody to see. And I think that is kind of obvious, right? Like, you're showing yourself to people on the internet. You want them to think that you are like amazing, you're a great person. So play yourself up, play all of your strengths up. If you think that like you have pretty good advice and you're a pretty good like advice giver to your friends, maybe if someone like shows up in your chat and they have a question, maybe show off your advice skills. Be like, oh yeah, absolutely, you know, I've actually been through something similar, you know, blah 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 blah. Your streaming style comes over time. This is why I encourage people who are auditioning to start streaming right now, is because your streaming persona will develop over time. I can tell you guys right now, I've been streaming for a really long time. It's a trained art. And eventually I fit the shoes. Let's say I was given my streamer shoes the day I started streaming, like years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago. I got my streamer shoes. They were too big. They were too damn big. But slowly, as I kept growing, my feet got bigger and I could eventually fit those shoes. You're always growing. And at some point, you might even need to change out your streamer shoes. You might need to swap them out for a different pair because you grew out of them. So I will say the only advice that I can really give you, because I don't know you, unfortunately, I can't give you personal advice. I can't give you personalized advice as to what I think you should lean into. Were you born streaming? Yeah. It was rough on my mom. The PC and everything. No. If you don't know what your streaming personality style is, I think you will have a very difficult time auditioning for FSP. That doesn't mean you shouldn't audition, but you will have a much harder challenge than a lot of other people auditioning. Give it your shot though. Give it your shot, because you'll learn. You'll look back at your audition. I've looked back at all my auditions before and I said, ew, cringe, ew, I hate that person, ew. Nowadays, I look at my VODs and I think, this guy's freaking hilarious. I sometimes, while I'm reviewing my own streams, I fall asleep to them. I fall asleep to my own streams sometimes because I enjoy them. I think if you can be comfortable enough to enjoy your own stream, I think I can confidently say you have found your streaming style and your streaming personality. If you can't watch your VOD without cringing 5 minutes in, you have some work to do, I think. I still cringe sometimes though, personally. I still have work to do. But I can tough through it, and I can use my cringe experiences as learning experiences. Even with all the moaning, you managed to fall asleep. Yeah, helps me get to sleep, if anything. If you fall asleep, doesn't that mean it's boring? Hey, No. 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 It's relaxing. I find myself relaxing sometimes, just like you guys do. Tee. Thank you very much for the question. I'm going to move on to the next one, guys. Number 12, goodbye. Thank you very much. I think it's subjective. If you cringe at your old work, sometimes it means you see what you can improve on because your brain is thinking, I can do better than this now. No, that's what I'm saying. If you can't watch your VOD without cringing, that means that you have room to improve. If you can do better, that means that you're slowly nestling yourself into the streamer style that you want to have, you know? I agree with you 100%. Next up. You misinterpreted? Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Number 16. This one says, the only thing I'm still a bit still confused about is what should you talk about? I think by this point you might have picked up what you should talk about, but I'll still give this a fair shake. You also said, do you talk about your life experiences or your achievements like an interview, or is it different? It is an interview. It is an audition interview, though, for a talent agency, so it's a little bit different than like a regular job office interview. What should you talk about is sadly 100% up to you. You need to have a good idea of what kind of person you are. You need to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. Unfortunately, you know, honestly, yeah, I think maybe ask your friends sometimes, like, what sort of personality do I have? Like, what are some of my strong suits? If they tell you like you're a nice person and stuff like that, that's great. Unfortunately, it's not great feedback for an audition sometimes. If you have streamed before and you know somebody that watches your streams, I would ask them, what do you think about my streams? If you haven't streamed before, then ask somebody that you know, what are some of my talents? You know, because sometimes it's hard to remember what you're good at. I forget all the time. I forget all the time what I'm good at. I think sometimes like, what do I do? How did I get here? You know, but then I go on to stream and I remember, oh yeah, I don't even bat an eye to going live. I have full confidence in my ability to talk to people. And I know that I can whip up a joke like nobody's business. Even if it's the same joke that I've said 32 times, right? But they never miss. They miss sometimes, actually. Self-degrading humor. Here we go. They're not always good. But you gotta roll the punches. You gotta roll the punches. Even your worst parts, you gotta roll the punches and make them entertaining, sadly. See, look, chat's lelling. They said lel. They said lamau. They never miss. Got a boyfriend? I bet he doesn't kiss ya. Never changed? I want to change, though. I want to get better. Don't tell me not to change. I'm not satisfied with where I'm at right now. I'm going up. So, things that you should talk about in your video. Number 1, sometimes you don't need to talk about something in the video. A lot of the videos should be showing them. So, if you are already showing them, maybe elaborate on some of your talents, just not too long. You really don't want to bore them. I'd say like 15 seconds of talking. After 15 seconds of talking, 15 to 30 seconds, I think is like a rough guesstimate of an attention span that is ready to get onto something else. 15 to 30 seconds. After that, you need to wow them again. You have to wow them again. What do you have to wow? I don't know. I don't know you personally, unfortunately, so I can't tell you what to show. Skills and talent that you have that are unique to you. Maybe not even just unique to you, but are your strongest parts. You have to continuously highlight that through the entire video. So again, don't just yap. You're not just a yapper. If yapping is your best quality, then god damn it, you better make it the most interesting yapping of your fucking life. Make it so that they never want to stop listening to you. Okay? Okay? The improved Gale should have 2 eye patches. I'm going to destroy my eye patch in spite of that. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Let's get on to the next one. Wheel of number 3. Number 3 says, This says, do you think having certain skills that stand out can make up for the lack in other preferable ones? 100%. That is a given, I would say. I think if you lack skill in other preferable skills, don't highlight it at all. If you don't think you're good at something, never show that to them. Keep those cards behind your back. If you think it's something important for streaming, then you should work on them behind the scenes, but don't show that to them in the audition video. You don't want them to know that you're not good at something. You want them to think that you're the best at everything you do. So show them everything that you're the best at. If you can go back in time, would you change anything about your audition? Pfft, I would change the whole thing. I think the only good thing that I put in there was probably my first minute, I would say. Yeah. But the first minute was really good. But my first minute was really good. And it showed a lot of my personality, and it showed a lot of my skills. And it showed that I was willing to do a lot. And the last one is, any motivational tips and tricks? Yeah. You have a lot of time for this audition. When does it end? When does it end? Until the 12th of May. You guys have like almost an entire month. Almost an entire month. An entire month is a lot of time to learn a new skill. Some people, if you're really good at learning, can learn a skill in like a week. I was just watching a video of some guy who learned how to rig a VTuber Studio model in a week to kind of understand how it works. There's a lot of things you can do in a month. And another piece of advice that I would say is don't feel rushed. Your video will be seen. Don't feel like just because somebody put their audition in sooner than you, they're going to get that spot before you can. Take your time and make it as good as possible. Maybe learn a new skill and add that to your add that to your audition video. What else did it say? Motivational tips and tricks. Motivation. I don't want to be superficial because I know literally everybody in this chat is more than capable of making a banger audition video. But you have to believe it yourself too. And you have to be able to learn what makes it banger and nuts. A tip from me would be in the audition video, I've said already, just be the best person that you can be. Be the best you. If you don't know what makes you the best, start there and learn what makes you the best. If you don't think you have anything that makes you the best, ask somebody for their advice as to what makes you great at something. If you don't want to do that, that's bad. My motivation to you is that you are more than capable of making an audition video that knocks people out of the park. So believe it in yourself. You can. Just you have to be down to earth and understand what is good, what is bad. Take your ego out, set it aside for a little bit. If you take your ego, put your ego aside for when you're recording for your audition video. If you choose to record for your audition video, that is. Put your ego aside, and when you're ready to record, pull it back in, because your ego is very important for being entertaining. Once you are putting the video together, take your ego, set it aside, and look at it analytically. What worked? What didn't work? You know? Objectively look at yourself. Learn how to objectively look at yourself from a third person perspective. I would say that's my biggest tip. You are capable, but you don't want to get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in the sauce and think, damn, that was so good. Holy crap, I'm throwing that right in there, you know? Look at it again. Maybe you can trim something. Maybe you can even do a little bit of editing to make that one moment even better. Because the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. There is no telling what makes an audition video the best. Only what makes an audition video good. Everything else is up to you. I mean, technically also up to the audition reviewers. it is dependent on them, but they will look at it objectively and say, this person kept me engaged, this person was entertaining, I had a good time watching this, and their voice is nice, stuff like that, you know. Oh yeah, motivational tips. Voice. I can't believe it took me this long to actually get to that. To everybody who is unconfident in their voice, don't forget the voice, while it is important, what that character is supposed to sound like does not exist. The red FSP Gen 2 character doesn't have a voice. It does not have a voice. It's up to you to put that voice into them. You know? If you think your voice would sound good on this character, give it a shot. Audition for that character. But that character doesn't have a voice. So don't tell yourself that your voice doesn't fit that character. You can make it fit that character. You can make it fit that character. You know? We give life to the character. I'm Gale. Gale is the only one with my voice, you know? My voice doesn't belong to Lucy. My voice doesn't belong to Roscoe. Roscoe's voice sure as hell doesn't belong in my body. God forbid. Because he has given himself life. His life belongs to him, you know? And it's up to you to put your life into the character. Body swap win tomorrow. Thank you for the question. Thank you so much. Next up. I think that was about as motivational as I'll get tonight. I'm trying to keep things very grounded and realistic for all of you guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm only going to give you the pragmatic answers and the pragmatic advice that you need to hear. I'm not going to gas you up. Everyone is capable of making a good video, but it's up to you to be able to learn how to do that. Take my advice. Take Zanny, Roscoe, Cass, and Lucy's advice. Set it down on the table, look at it objectively, and think what you need to do. Okay, next up is time to spin. Number one says, can I apply for Gen 2 even if I'm already a member of Avalon? Thank you. Can't wait for your stream. To this person specifically, I say go fuck yourself. All right, next up on the list. Number 6. They should. I agree. That was Lucy, by the way. That was Lucy and Lunaris of First Stage Production, EN's group Avalon. This question asks, do you have to audition with a pre-existing idea as yourself, like in real life, or with an original idea to pitch? Neither of those matter. I'll start from here. None of those matter, but if this the question's a little bit strange to me. If this pre-existing character that you're talking about is interesting and you think they're really cool, such as yourself, then that should be what you put forward. If you have an original idea, you better be really good at executing your original idea, and you have to have full confidence that you can maintain this original idea. I hope that makes sense. Once again, the audition video has no limits as to what you should do. There are things that make it better, and there are things that make it worse. I've given you guys most everything that you need to know that makes an audition video good and bad. But what that means for you specifically will unfortunately have to be determined by you yourself. So again, no, you do not have to audition with a pre-existing idea, and no, you don't have to have an original idea. What the audition video is just using a character in the audition video. Your character could just be you. Your character could be something that you have concocted. Whichever one of those you think is better and is more interesting is the one you should go with. If you think that your true self is the most interesting thing, use that. If you think that this new idea is more interesting, do that. But it's up to you to know which one is more interesting. It's about catching their attention. It's about not boring them too. I think those are two different things. Is catching their attention is one thing, not boring them is another thing. There are many pitfalls that an audition video can fall into that can sort of make the audition reviewer lose their attention. That's why I highly recommend you don't submit super quickly. Give yourself an honest review of your video. And when you finish your audition video, here's my advice to you. Put it down. It's finished. Sleep. Don't submit your audition. Sleep. Wake up tomorrow. Watch your audition video again. If you think that there are things that you can improve on, get to work. Start working on it again. Sleep on it. You gotta sleep on it. You know those meme images that get passed around on Twitter that says, don't trust your thoughts past 9 p.m.? If you're working on your audition video late at night and you're really tired and you finish it up, maybe your tired self was off about something. There's a very good chance that you might have not done something to the best of its ability, you know? You might not have worked to the best of your ability. Sleep on it. Work at it tomorrow. Look at it tomorrow again. And if you do think that is the best that you can do, throw that bitch in. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you so much. We're down to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 questions left, everybody. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And then after these 10 questions, I'm opening the floor to a bunch of people. If you have questions you think were not answered, or if you came in late, I can try to answer those questions again. But if you did come in late, I would say, well, I mean, that's not fair. Yeah, you can still ask your question. If it's a question that I've already answered, though, I'll probably tell you to watch the VOD later, so I don't spend too much time on it. I'm sorry. Number 22. Can an audition be so fire they replace a Gen 1 by personally body slamming you to the curb? Yeah. Yeah, if you're a better pirate, honestly, you deserve it. I'll pass my coat and hat to you. Just kidding, it's glued on my head, dummy! No, you will never take my mantle. It's mine and mine alone. Thank you for the question. Bitch. I'll body slam you back. See you body slam who first. Number 18. Is it worth auditioning? Yes. Full stop, yes. Is it worth auditioning if you don't really have that much pre-existing stream experience? It's super worth it. This is experience. If you don't audition, you are gimping yourself in the future. Even if you don't think you're going to make it, you want to make the best audition video, you want to fill out that audition form the best you can. So even if you don't think you're going to make it, the next time you do audition for something, you need to have the experience of doing it. Just because you know how to write doesn't mean you're the best at writing. I can maybe like type up something, you know, blah, 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 but it's not great. But you got to do it. You got to do it to get better. And if you don't do it to get better, you'll never get better. You can always take advice, you can learn from things, but putting it to practice is a different experience in and of itself than just learning by secondhand experience. Do it yourself, even if you think you're gonna fail. That goes for everything, by the way, in the world. That goes for everything in the world. Do it yourself, even if you think you're gonna fail. If you're gonna fail hard. And then get back up. Humans are really good at that, you know. They're really, 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 really good at taking an experience and learning from it. And some are better than others, of course. Some people are incapable of learning, but humans in general are really good from taking a bad experience and making sure we never do it again. You know how when you were maybe running down the hallway when you were really young as a kid and you hit your head on a doorknob and then you got a really fat lump on your forehead because you were going too fast and it was really dark? You never did that again now, did you? You made a mistake, you had an accident, and you learned from it. You made an audition video, you sucked at it, and you learned from it. If you know that your audition video sucks, then you know what you need to improve on. That was really specific. What you talking about? What you talking about? Thank you very much for the question. I think, I hope I didn't put you down for that, by the way. I didn't mean to put you down at all. I think it's actually a very fantastic question. That is a really, really good question. Thank you for asking it. Try. Always try. Trying is hot. Trying is super sexy. You know what's not sexy? Giving up. Giving up's not sexy. You know what's not sexy? Is being a quitter. Is thinking you can't. The hottest thing a person can do is stand back up and smile and laugh about something that happened just now. The hottest thing someone can do is learn from the shit that really kicked you in the ass and learning. It's hot. It's sexy. Shows character. Shows really good character. Oh shit, it was 5. I accidentally re-rolled. It was 5 next. Not that you guys know, but I rolled again, so the next one is already determined. This question, it says, I'm not sure about specifics, but maybe some general advice on how to deal with the nerves before and during the process of the audition. Or advice on how to manage expectations throughout the process, especially when there's a potential for setbacks. I don't think I know what you mean by that last portion. Maya, I know you're in chat right now. Could you elaborate on that last sentence? Advice on how to manage expectations throughout the process, especially when there's potential for setbacks. What do you mean by setbacks? That confuses me. B-boy trying. If you turn out to be a boy failure, stand the fuck up and B-boying, try again. Yeah, that's why they call them boy tryers. Boy failures are hot. You know why? Because they keep failing, but they keep trying too. They're not boy giver-uppers. So let me start with the beginning of this. General advice on how to deal with nerves before and during the process of the audition. Bad news. The nerves don't go away. Sorry. The setbacks getting like rejected or scuff. Oh, okay. I got you. Thank you. General advice on how to deal with nerves is order your favorite food before. Okay. I don't know about for like if you're gonna record something, just put yourself in your best environments. Maybe make some warm tea if that makes you comfy. Maybe do some vocal exercises. A friend of mine, he's super cool. He's super wise and super smart. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I'll read it in just a second. A friend of mine is super smart. He has this thing. No, actually, no, he doesn't have this thing. He told me about this thing that he learned about called like being a scary bear or something like that. No, crazy bear. It's the crazy bear exercise where you go, I'm a crazy bear. How many of you guys can just do that? I know there's some people that are living with their family and they can't be loud right now. But if you're by yourself right now, can you go, I'm a crazy bear? Can you do that? Or can you not do that? I know it's a dumb question. Obviously, you are more than capable of doing it. But does your body allow you to do that? Doing it? Good. Did it? Done? There's a lot of people that struggle with being a crazy bear, but it was a weak one. You got to be a crazier bear than I'm a crazy bear. It's 1:30, but you can. Hey, based. If you could be a crazy bear, be a crazy bear. Be a fucking insane cocaine bear. Just be a cocaine bear. Go crazy. It'll warm up your nerves. You'll get rid of your nerves by being a crazy bear. Be stupid. Because you're gonna look stupid. I'm a VTuber. You don't think I don't know I look like an idiot right now? I'm looking at myself and I'm like, this got a goofy in it. If you are scared of something looking dumb, being silly, or I don't know, something crazy like that, those are nerves. You're nervous. and it'll show. Be a crazy bear. If you could be a crazy bear, be a crazy bear. Go, I'm a crazy bear. I'm a crazy bear. I'm a crazy bear. I'm a crazy bear. Sound as crazy as you can. If people saw you in the mall right now and they thought that you needed to be put into a straight jacket, good. Fucking good. 1 second. Let me read the super chat really quick. Hannah May, thank you very much for the super chat. Hi Gale, I hope you're having an amazing day and evening, and thanks for giving us advice. Hope you're having an amazing stream, sending lots of love. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super. Noted, but you see how this can definitely work. Yeah. Nerves. Do you guys know what nerves are built from? Nerves are built from insecurity. If you're insecure about yourself, then you're gonna be nervous. And if you're nervous, that's normal. By the way, I'm not shaming anybody for being nervous. I was nervous too. But you got to release the tension by accepting absurdity. Crazy shit happens all the time in your life. If you're constantly thinking about the next mistake you're gonna make, you're going to be miserable. Being able to like roll with the punches and accept that you will make a mistake and you accept that as a part of yourself, that you're imperfect, you'll be less nervous. Because you will suck. Guys, 100% of the time, you're gonna suck. You will always suck, no matter how good you are. Famous singers out there, they're not 100% perfect. Sometimes they voice crack. You will always suck. But that doesn't mean you can't be great. You just have to accept that you will suck. And you have to accept that you are crazy. And your nerves, if you can truly accept that, your nerves will go away. Write that down. Yeah, exactly. Put that on a t-shirt. Like seriously, put that on a t-shirt. You're always gonna suck, but you can always be great. And the next, advice on anime, how to manage expectations through the process, especially when dealing when there's potential for setbacks. Yeah. The chance that you get rejected is very real. It's actually extremely real. Everything that you're doing with the audition video, with the audition form, is to help increase your success rate to succeed. At the same time, you have to know that that likelihood that you do not get in is really real, and accepting that from the very beginning, be 100% confident you're going to get in while you make your audition video, and when you send it out, accept the reality that you might not get in. Accept it and let it be a part of you, so that when if you do get notified back, you can be pleasantly surprised. If you don't get emailed back, then you've learned. Don't bank on getting it in. Don't bank on it. That is immediately banking on getting in is just room for disappointments, and it'll discourage you in the future from learning from it. Accept it, and if you think you didn't do good, that's why you didn't get in, then if you already understand that there was a high chance you would not get in, you're more than likely able to bounce back and recover from it. Accept that failure is a real possibility. Accept it and do your best to make sure it doesn't happen again. You know? Yeah, don't bank on it. Sweats profusely. Bro, I remember when he said you quit your job and you refinanced your house to make it into FSP. Oh, bro, that was crazy of you. You're so lucky, dude. Crazy ass. Yo, Roscoe, you a crazy bear? I don't even have to ask that. That dude's a crazy bear. I'm a crazy bear. I'm a fucking crazy ass bear. Yep. Believe that you can make it during the audition, and once you send it, accept that there is a very real possibility that you will not make it. You know, two-step process. Work and then let go. There's actually do you guys know about Zen gardens? It's I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but actually I don't know what type of monks do it, but there are monks that own Zen gardens, and the idea behind a Zen garden is to draw beautiful works of art in the sand. Something that could be framed, something that could be put into a museum. Just beautiful works of art. And then you know what they do? When they're done with the arts of the Zen garden, they kick it in the sand and they get rid of all of it right after they're done. Do you know why they do that? Is because if you work on something beautiful, you don't need to hold on to it for the rest of your life. It's a learning experience, and you're supposed to enjoy the moment. You're supposed to enjoy the beauty of it while it's happening. Enjoy your audition video while you're making it. Make it the best that you can. And when you're done, just let it go. Let it go and let the world take its course. You know? If you guys want a good therapy session, if you're an artist, draw a beautiful piece of work and get rid of it. You're gonna feel sad, but at the same time, just realize that like a lot of things in life are very transient and they sort of slip by at all times. Don't mourn it because it's gone. Like, be happy that it happened. Is basically the sum of it. Thank you very much for the wait. Yeah, that was all of it, I think. Thank you very much for the question. I hope that was enlightening. Next up, artist PTSD triggered. Oops, forgot to save the canvas. All my work's gone. Whoopsie daisy. Let me take a sip of a Joja cola really quick. Cool. Number 10. Oh wait, I had number 14 lined up. I'm gonna do number 14, then number 10. I messed up. Number 14. I'm not super familiar with the FSP audition form, but I guess perhaps you could give some advice in general about the audition video process. I think this one I'm not going to stay too long on. We've already sort of covered a lot of the basics. It's a very general question, and I've gone into specifics about a lot of it. For anybody who just tuned in, I'll give you the rundown on some general advice about the audition video process. Make your first 1 minute to die for. Make your first 1 minute just a nugget, a little cluster of flavor bursting at the seams. You know, like when you chew into a piece of gum, the first bite is always the best, and then like as time goes on, it sort of like loses its flavor. Make the first bit of your video feel like the first bite of that piece of gum. What else? Don't even after your first minutes, make the rest of your video have like peaks and valleys. If you don't want to plateau, don't have one really good intro and like how like stocks look. Don't make the stock go all the way up to like 100 times and then it just drops back to where it was before. Don't do that. Keep up the hype, keep up the entertainment. You should treat your audition video like it's the first time, or no, like it's your first time showing yourself to the internet, you know? You want to show your best side at all times. At all times. At all times. At all times. And then climax at the end. Yeah, just hit him with a at the end, you know? As a favor. Thank you very much for the question. And then number 10 is next. Thanks for a reminder to save your canvas. Hadn't done that for a while. Ooh, good save. Or let it go. Ha! Unless it's a commission, in which case, no, get that bread. This question says, just a curious question, but does the avatar have to look like the silhouette? I do not know what you mean by that, unfortunately. So I'm going to interpret it in the way that I understand. Does the avatar have to look like the silhouette? I'm assuming, do you mean perhaps whatever you're auditioning with? Because I know they say in the audition video section, audition with a character. They don't mean that you need to draw and commission a character to have for your audition video. Let's be very clear. A character is something of a personality. It's not something that you're physically showing. So no. Your character doesn't need to look like the silhouette. Your character could be Garfield. I'm serious. Your character could be Garfield or Snarfield if you want to avoid copyright. You could be Snarfield, who is auditioning for Red. Just make sure that Snarfield's personality matches Red's, you know? Or matches what you would expect Red's personality to be. And don't forget that, again, you don't need to present anything that resembles the character physically. All you need to do is present to them something that you think would represent the character's personality. And that doesn't have to be art. Your video could be a black screen for 5 minutes. It really could, as long as you make it entertaining, you know? Maybe it's like you know that meme? It's like 21.1 FM. The car explodes. This ain't your granny station. Maybe if that's like what you want to do for your audition video, just like a really funny little audio clip for like a little while that shows off your talents as somebody who speaks or is really good at doing audio design. Maybe that's an option too. But I will say that visual representations help out a lot. They do help out a lot, but you don't need something that looks like the silhouette. It could be Snarfield. It really could just be Snarfield. Pull the "would you love me if I turn into a worm" bit. That's true. Yeah, that's really funny actually. That's not, don't even /J that. That's really funny. Be like, hello, I'm actually the body of Red. I've been trapped into Snarfield's furry ass. I need you to break me out right now, but I need you to give me the 3 funny digits on the back of your mom's credit card. Or something stupid like that. You know, it's funny, right? It's funny and it's entertaining, and you're like, what the hell is this guy on about? Thanks, Snarfield. So to reiterate, you do not need anything that looks like the character. All you need to do is present something that feels like the character. You know, your personality, the way you speak, your skills should represent the character, not a physical appearance. I hope I interpreted that correctly, and if I didn't, I do apologize. Next up is, we're gonna find out in just this moment. Sharfield, Sharding Garfield. I'd pay for that. Number 21 is next. We're down to, after this one, there'll be 5 left, everybody. So we're nearing the end. Well, we're nearing the end of the roulette portion. And afterwards, I will excitation Foreman in making your audition video great. Oh, lag? We back? We're back? We good? Sudden buffer? We good now? Okay, it's just a little hiccup. Okay. Refresh if still lagging. Okay. Yeah, everybody. Again, this is a good example of scuff. Don't lose your composure. Don't lose your composure. Above all, deal with it, you know? It's gonna happen. Scuff happens. Refresh is still lagging, yeah. All right. I'm gonna give it like 1 more minutes. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya?
Okay. And by 1 minute, I don't mean it literally, because I'm impatient and I want to keep talking because I'm a yapper.
I'm Gale Galleon.
This is totally planned. Yeah, I actually I told my ISP to like put a hiccup in my internet so that I could show you guys what it's like to recover. You know what I mean? Giving so many great facts, YouTube couldn't handle it. Too many nuggets of knowledge. You know, guys, do you know what my favorite word is? Cluster. I love the word cluster. The word cluster sounds so good. Because like it could be like a cluster of like, ooh, what am I thinking of? Like granola, like a cluster of granola, or like a cluster of like crystals in a cave, or like a cluster of minerals in a mine, or like a cluster of, I don't know, cluster just sounds nice, you know? Cluster sounds really good to me. It's like a cluster of flavor. Peanut clusters. Peanut clusters. Cluster of fuck. Cluster of fuck. True. I love that. Cluster fuck. All right, guys. I'm gonna get back into the audition stuff. Thank you for waiting for me. Number 21 is saying, in your opinion, what's the toughest part of the audition process? Something that nearly tripped you up or another member when y'all initially went through it. And to that answer, all I can say is that Stage 1 will be your hardest battle. The audition form and the audition video will be your hardest battle. You will be fighting with yourself for a long time, trying to make sure that everything is as good as it can be. But aside from that, let's see. I think learning how to stream on YouTube, actually, very specifically, learning how to stream on YouTube for me was something that can be messed up. Streaming on YouTube is different from streaming on different streaming platforms. So if you've never streamed on YouTube before and you do intend on auditioning, I'd really highly recommend you give it like a shot. Just do like an unlisted stream. Do an unlisted stream and practice with the control panel and stuff like that, because the interface is really difficult to get used to, but eventually you sort of like get used to it. So very specifically for me was streaming on YouTube for the first time. I actually had an accident. I had an accident that I rectified immediately where my stream was scuffed from the very beginning. I think I was streaming in like the wrong resolution. And so I restarted my stream, but I needed to set up a new stream, a new waiting room on YouTube to be able to connect to. And because I did not do that, my live stream actually, for just a moment, was public. I'm like, ah! And so I rectified it. I set up a new lobby and unlisted it. And I gave them the new lobby to do the test stream. It was very scary, and I thought I had just shot myself in the foot. But I mean, I'm here now. So to anybody who needs confidence in scuff, just know that I messed up about as badly as I could. Yeah. Roll with the punches. Roll with the punches. That's just for me though. If you have that, who's doing the next audition advice video? I would recommend asking the other members as well, because I'm sure they have different opinions as me, or different opinions to me, because I think I am probably the most confident out of all of Avalon, 100%. So a lot of my advice comes as very straightforward and matter-of-factly and not very like opinionated, I suppose. So I would say ask around and see if you can get an answer from the other boys about their the parts that tripped them up the most, because I was pretty confident throughout the entire thing. I think I'm the last one. I'm sure another one will show up, probably, question mark. I can respect you not sugarcoating it. I mean, I'm nothing if not myself. I'm nothing if not myself. Thank you very much for the question. All right, next up. Oh, I forgot to apply wheel changes. Just got the same question. Oops. Number 7. Number 7 says, I might not be able to join stream. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, maybe it's so late that you could, maybe you've popped in by now. Who inspired you to become a VTuber and why? That's a great question. Unfortunately, it doesn't pertain to the audition process very much. So I'm going to only answer this very briefly, but as a kid, I always wanted to be an actor. And so I took the steps forward to be an actor. That didn't do very well for me. So I tried streaming, and I really enjoyed streaming. And eventually VTubers existed. I got addicted to them, and I shot my shot, and I became a VTuber. I think that's about as simple as it gets. I wanted to be an actor, couldn't become an actor, so I became a VTuber. I've always been a very showman person for most of my life. You know, back in the day, my mom would constantly be like, Gale, go do the worm. You know, like the worm dance move. I used to be able to do the worm as a kid, and like during weddings and stuff, she would use me as like a little like trophy, and she'd be like, do the worm, do the funny thing, everyone loves that. I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, I'll go do it. So I don't know, I've always liked making people laugh, and that's how I got into VTubing personally. I think laughing is man, how do I say this without sounding like an idiot? Laughing fun, laughing funny, laughing way better than being sad, laughing way cooler than being sad. Thank you for the question. I'm sorry I couldn't elaborate too much on it, but I'm trying to keep it strictly relating to audition advice. Next up, please refresh. Laughing is healthy. Laughing adds a lot of years to your life. Did you know that? If you're a grumpy puss, don't be a grumpy puss. You be bad. You be sad all your life and be like, life hard, life suck. And life hard and life do suck. That's true. But that doesn't mean you can't laugh in between all the shitty parts. I laugh to cope. Personally, I laugh to cope. But sometimes I just enjoy laughing for laughter's sake. And by sometimes I mean most of the time. I enjoy laughing just for laughter's sake. Don't take life too seriously. Life is a serious thing, but you gotta know when to chillax, kick back for a bit. This question says, how can I be as awesome and cool as Gale Galleon? Oh, that's a tough one. I don't think you can. I'm sorry. I do believe the pinnacle has been reached. I've topped Everest twice, and if you ever wanted to try to get to my level, you will surely find misery in the trek. So I would say just give up. Give up. Gale is just the coolest guy on planet Earth. Thank you. Thank you for asking. I topped Everest twice. That's why I'm a top. Yeah, let's go. Number 13. After this, it's 2 more, everybody. Two left after this. This question says, based on chat from the Audition collab stream, maybe wheel spots for PC equipment requirements for streaming and the best ways to get familiar with streaming software. Oof. That's a little specific. If you play games, if you're playing on a laptop and your laptop struggles to play very simple games, you're probably gonna struggle, because you also need to be able to run video editing software to be able to make your audition video. You also need to be able to record using a streaming software. By the way, that's good. That's a good question. If you've never used like something like OBS before, it's completely possible to get used to using it offline. OBS is not strictly for live streaming. You can use it for recording stuff on your desktop. So download OBS. You'll see something called, oh, actually you won't see anything called anything. There's a button that says start recording. Start recording means you'll record on your OBS as if you were live streaming. You'll hear everything that goes into it, and you'll be like, oh wow, what the hell, my mic sounds like garbage and stuff like that. But you could test that. You could test that offline. You don't need to go live for that. So you can do this 100% offline, but you should test going live, because if you don't have a good upload speed on your internet, then you might not be able to handle streaming at studio industry quality. That is to say. Learning OBS is actually super fun. I think it's kind of fun too. I think OBS is a little intimidating, but there's a lot of cool tools that people have made on OBS, and there's a lot of YouTube OBS tutorials that you can all go through. So when in doubt, just use YouTube. YouTube is a great resource for learning more, and also finding out new stuff that you can also add to your OBS. So if your computer just struggles to play games, I would recommend getting a PC upgrade if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, obviously work within your means, but technically, no, I would say that OBS does have a benchmark requirement to be able to stream. And a lot of older laptops will most likely not be, sufficient for streaming, because OBS does take a lot of power. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of use a lot of CPU and RAM, I think. A lot of RAM. Yeah, it uses a lot of RAM. So you need a PC with good RAM on it. That reminds me, I should upgrade my RAM. That'd be nice. You need at least medium requirements. Yeah, I would agree. Not many do this, but listening to yourself is always good. You might think your audio is good, but it might be too low or too high. Yep, 100%. Yeah. Record, listen back to yourself. Do some test recordings. I do that all the time still. If I'm testing out like a new audio setup on my OBS, I play it back to myself. I think, okay, is the music too loud over me? Is the game music louder than me? This is a very technical advice from me personally. I recommend most games be at least 15 decibels quieter than your maximum speaking voice. About 15 decibels quieter. Depending on the game, you can sort of shift it around. For horror or for quieter games, you might want to raise that threshold a little bit. But don't forget, at the end of the day, as the streamer, your voice is the most important thing that comes out of the software. So that needs to be the highlight of the content, is audio quality of your voice. And quality can mean are the volumes adjusted correctly, or it could mean, do I have the right setup to make me sound the best? What, I can't hear you, the music's too loud? Oh, sorry, my bad. You know? Thank you very much for the question. Thank you so much. We're down to 2 questions left. So I'm going to just read them. I'm not going to do the roulette anymore. I mean, it's kind of moot. There's only 2 things left. So there's number 5 and number 9 left. So number 5 says... Wait. Am I crazy? Oh, is there... But I might have screenshotted the same one twice. Oops. That is the same one. So let me go read number 9. I'm an idiot.
Oopsie doopsie.
Make sure when you live stream, lower the game volume in game so that your voice can be heard better. You don't have to, actually. You don't have to do that. If you want the game volume to be immersive on your headphones, but you don't want to blow your viewers' headphones out, I already did 5. Yeah, I'm a stupid idiot. There's a filter on OBS that comes pre-installed called a limiter. You might have heard me reference this before in reference to other things, but the limiter is actually... So, okay, my music right now is playing at 100% volume, but on OBS, I've added a limiter. A limiter is the threshold in which the audio comes out. Basically adds like a volume gate. It will never go higher than negative 41 decibels, but I can raise this limiter. Watch what happens if I raise the limiter, okay? The limiter makes it so that the volume of the music is louder now, and it's harder to hear me. This is way too loud. But if I bring it down here to negative 41, then I'm still audible. You guys can hear the music in the background. It creates a level of ambiance. And it's good. All is well. So, there's a lot of different filters on OBS. I would recommend a lot of you get used to. You can maybe look up a YouTube video that says like, top 10 filters on OBS you need to know, or something like that, you know? Yep, limiter, super nice. You'll learn for sure. It's super simple. You right click, add limiter, and it does its job. You just set it to whatever level you want to set it to. So anyway, the last question of the night, regarding, at least for the roulette, before we enter our open question session, says, you can always add something, for advice, I guess. How to beat the nerves and remain confident during the process. You feel like a lot of people might apply because they have... A lot of people might not apply because they have a negative mindset, thinking they won't make it. But there's never any harm in trying new things. If you guys are here listening to my stream right now, well, okay, not everybody, obviously. Whoever's listening for genuine advice here, who intends on auditioning, you had better at least try. You had better, please, at least try. I've already talked about it. If you're not trying, you're not learning. If you're not learning, you're not getting better. If not getting better, you will never be better. So, as far as beating the nerves, we've sort of covered that already. Be a crazy bear. Be a crazy bear! Because you're an idiot. Everyone's an idiot at some points in their lives. Just accept that you're an idiot. You're dumb. You're stupid. You could be stupid. You could be stupid and great at the same time. Just because you're dumb doesn't mean you're not awesome. I'm the prime example right here. How many peanuts jokes do I make in a fucking stream? I'm out of material. I'm washed up. But I still make it fun, at least. At least I think I do. Also, try it, not try it. Actually do it, don't fool yourself. True. Yeah. Actually try it. Don't go halfway. If you think that you're capped out, like the limit of your skill is done, just give it one more day. Look over it again. Maybe you think something new. Maybe you can improve on something that you didn't think of before. But if you really think you're tapped out and your audition still sucks, send it in. Send it in. Send it in and then forget about it. But at least send it in. Because maybe someone else doesn't think it sucks. Maybe the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know what other people are looking for. So you should at least try. I'm not omniscient. I can only tell you what I think makes a good audition structure, and I can tell you what I would expect of somebody who is auditioning to act. But I can't tell you what is objectively good and is objectively bad, because it's all subjective. So your bad might be someone else's good. Okay? You screamed earlier and your roommate came over and told you how dumb it sounded. It worked. Yay! Good job. Do you feel stupid? If you don't feel stupid, that's a good sign. If you do feel stupid, you know, honestly, I mean, you're screaming like a crazy bear, so I mean, you are a little stupid, but there is some truth in it. But don't be upset about it, you know. But yeah, don't give up just because you think it's bad. Let someone else think it's bad and then work on it from there. Sound good? All right. This is going to be the open mic section of the stream. Please, if anybody has anything you think I didn't answer. By the way, if there's a lot of questions that come up really fast, I'm sorry if I can't answer everybody's, but please let me know what you guys would like to know. The wheel is done. Wheel are all done. What was the hardest part of the audition? The video, the interview, or the live stream? I think I answered that already. It was the video/form. It's the highest barrier to entry. If you're confident in your interviewing skills, or your people skills, getting past stage 1 is the most important part, and it's the hardest part, I would say. Your friends told you that you have a deep voice. You could try singing jazz songs. You've been practicing a few of them. Do it. Yeah, hell yeah. If you're uni students, would that help or hurt your chances? Neither. Neither way. If you can balance your school and live streaming, then power to you. I think being in school shows a level of dedication that's very admirable. But do not forget that this is a job and you will have to make time for it. At bare minimum of 3 streams a week. I highly recommend being able to do more in the week, just because the state of live streaming as it is extremely competitive. So the more time you spend, you know, offline, is more time people can spend forgetting about you. I mean, realistically. So it is a job and you have to keep up with it. Let's see. If you have more pre-recorded content and edited pre-recorded and edited content as opposed to streaming content, how do you highlight that as a skill still? Make a banger pre-recorded video. Make a banger of it. You don't, if you have live stream experience, that's good. But if your expertise lies in pre-recorded and edited content, highlight that and probably explain and talk over it too, I would say. How would you recommend showing in work skills, like like learning an instrument, a language? So if you're gonna speak a language that isn't like a language that the interviewers are fluent in, then your video needs subtitles. Your video needs subtitles. So show that off. Show off your different language skills and use subtitles. In work skills, like learning an instrument, if you're learning an instrument, that's you can absolutely make that into a part of your video by playing it on stream or on camera, you know? So I think that kind of goes without saying. Just do your best song that you've learned so far. And if you haven't learned a song, play some really nice chords. How long is the video or live stream have to be? Only focus on the video right now. The video is supposed to be 5 minutes. If you get past the first round of auditions, you've already caught their attention. Exactly. And then you use that to your advantage. If you've already passed round 1, use that to your advantage that you have caught their interest and don't let go of it. Question: if you have a special skill or talent that you don't want to be your mainstream style, should you not emphasize it? Art skill, example, art skills, but you want to be game focused streamer, as it may disappoint. Harsh reality is that if you highlight your talents, I think you should expect to utilize them for stream. If you don't want to be an art streamer, but you're a really good artist, if you don't intend on using that for the role, I don't think you should show it off. Personally, I don't think you should. Maybe like just if you do show it off, don't make it a highlight of your content or of the video. What if you don't have experience with streaming? Can you still get in? Yeah. But I'll be honest, you would be very lucky. You would be extremely astronomically lucky if you get in without any streaming experience. Just to put it bluntly, people who have streaming experience have an extremely larger leg up in the competition, and you'll need to make up for that with other skills that you have. You'll really need to put on a really good show for the first stage if you want to go further. If you have an Oshi in the same company that you're applying to, what do you think about sharing that? Like somewhat showing that you are familiar with the company or acts or something like that. I think showing a lot of interest into FSP is important. I would say that if you have an Oshi, if one of us is your like Kami Oshi, don't bring that up in your audition video. Don't make it about us. Make it about you. Show your interest in being a streamer. Show your interest in being a part of our team. Don't show your interest in being like one of our best friends. You know, that's you can have that as a goal of yours, but that should not be what you tell the auditioners or the audition reviewers. Is singing popular copyrighted songs okay to do in the audition? Yeah, 100%. You should do it. Yeah. There's no problem with doing that. It's an unlisted video, which means that it's not going to be criticized by the YouTube algorithm, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, do whatever. Even if it did, you'll be fine. I'm pretty sure. Only show you what you can and want to provide? Yes, I would 100% say that. I think, like I was talking about before, somebody who can juggle, you can show that off, but don't make that a highlight because it's not relevant to what you want to do as a streamer. If we were auditioning for a science character, would starting off with a cool fact help? Like that time you told about the ginkgo trees? This is very opinionated on my part. If you're auditioning for a sciencey type person and you want to give us a really cool fact, you would have to turn it into a bit, if you know what I mean by that. I mean, like, did you know that trees shed their leaves at least twice every year? Although, I'm trying to be rizzy, but I can't. Try to make it more interesting than the facts. What you tell them should be more interesting than the fact in of itself. That sounds, quite frankly, I think if you did that as the intro, if you're going for a very like smooth and cool character, it could possibly work, yeah. But if you're going for a more like a romantic type character, then play it up to like a romantic effect. If you're going for a dumb character, maybe give them a fact that's not a fact at all, you know? But it should highlight what you think the character that you're auditioning for would be like. I think a fact on its own is not engaging itself on its own. Add another layer to it. How would I feel if a Pipsqueak made it to the next gen? I would personally shoot them on the spot. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Can the audition tape be edited, both to get rid of scuff and showing off editing skill? Yes, 300%, 5,000%. If you, okay, guys, if you're doing the audition video, I said this before on the group audition advice stream that we did. They don't see anything that you do except for the video itself. They don't see anything besides what you put in front of them. Whether or not it's edited, whether or not you edit out scuff, edit the volumes, adjust the audio, insert audio. None of that, they don't need to be concerned with any of that. That doesn't matter to them. What all that matters is what they see is entertaining to them. It's entertaining, and it is also something that they can see in one of these new talents. Do everything you can to give yourself a leg up, whether it be cutting, trimming, editing, getting rid of the bad portions. Get rid of all of your bad portions, actually. Get rid of all of your bad portions. Don't leave them in. If you did a bad take, do that take over. Or get rid of the parts that were bad. Okay? Doctor that shit. Doctor that shit up. Make it good. Make it good. Because don't forget, you're still doing a live stream test in stage 3. So whatever... if you're not a good live streamer, they'll see that eventually. But if you want to get to that stage, you gotta make it, you know? But eventually they will see your strengths and your weaknesses. They will find out everything. That's why this audition process exists. When recording for the video, such as voice acting and singing, what is your advice to help your voice sound well for the video to avoid scuffing it, like off key, if that makes sense? If you're singing, and you'll have to be able to edit your own audio. If you don't know how to do that, then you'll have to practice your song better. And if you are singing off key still, what to say to that? When recording for the video, such as voice acting and singing, what's your advice to help your voice sound well? I think for something like this, this is one of those skills that you should be able to show off on your own. If you can edit it to sound better, do that. If you're not able to, then that's not within your capabilities. And if you don't think that it's your strongest point, then maybe don't add that then, you know? It's a very difficult that's a difficult conversation to have, because I don't know to what extent you mean, but if you think that it needs to be edited before it to be like good, but you can't edit it, then maybe don't have it, I would say. If you think it's good enough, I think showing off some singing skill is still good. If you think it's good enough, I would say don't make it your highlight, but at least show that you do know how to sing, you know? Worst case scenario, just choose something that you can sing on key for. Yeah, it all comes with practice. Let's see. The current audition video you have is 5 minutes and 55 seconds long. Is that okay? Or does that have to be exactly 5 minutes? The audition form says roughly 5 minutes. It can be below, it can be under, or it can be below and it can be above. I recommend you try to keep it as close to 5 minutes as possible. So if there's things that you could trim out, if there's dead air, go back and trim that shit. Go look for dead air in your video, trim it back as much as you can, okay? Get rid of the bad parts, please. Get rid of the bad parts, please. Thank you, Roscoe. What if you're confidently bad? Then be confidently bad. Didn't I tell you that earlier? If you're a baddie, if you're a real baddie, and by baddie I mean terrible at everything, then just maybe play like a ditzy character. Make that your highlight. Make it so that like you're really bad at everything, but you're good at being bad. Like you're good at picking yourself up by your bootstraps, you know? If that's the only thing you have to highlight is being bad, then you better make it really fucking interesting. You better really fucking make it interesting. Being imperfect is a selling point. You can always improve your skills you're weak on, and one of the things that people show up to VTubers for is to see them progress over time. I agree too. If you're not, I think I agree with you, but not for the audition. In the audition, you should be showing off your best parts 100%. When you debut eventually, yeah, I think it's okay to be imperfect, and I think that's very endearing. You guys all know that I'm not confident in my singing, and I want to get better, so I'm getting better over time. And eventually, the next karaoke I do, you guys are gonna be like, whoa, Gale is so talented now. He got so much better and stuff like that. You know, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But for the audition video, I would highly suggest that you only show off your best portions that you're confident in. Really highlight and sell that to them. If you do want to get better at stuff, tell that to them like later down the line. Get better later. Show them what you're good at now. For the audition video, if you were to use stream clips to show who you are as a person but have it be entertaining, then would that work? Yes, use clips. I think I've been hammering that down in pretty hard. I highly suggest you use clips. I think clips are really good at showing you in your best moments, and they're really good at showing you in your most normal environment as a streamer. So you basically add more personality or integrate your own personality to the John Avlam's audition where, yes! The person that you're showing them should be 150% you. It should be 150% of you, of your character. I think we're good then. If there's any other questions, I'll leave the floor open for just a moment. Guys, this is your last chance to get a direct answer from me for any questions. If I missed your question, feel free to repeat it. If you feel like there's something you want more elaboration on, I'm more than welcome to elaborate further on it. So, I'll give it about like 30 more seconds. And if not, then we're good. I'm gonna bring Pip back. What's up, Pip? What's up? How you doing, girl? You had a fun break? Everyone missed you, you know that, right? You're the Kamiyoshi after all. Is it okay if the streams you're clipping are just from streaming to friends, not actual public stuff? Yeah, every content is valid. Every form of content that listen, those clips are totally valid, just as valid as it is to go and record yourself playing a game to maybe make a clip, you know? Just make it interesting. Just make it interesting. I'm so serious when I say that the most important part of the audition video isn't like what you use, it's what's interesting. What you do is secondary to how fun it is to watch. You mentioned from your video you only liked 1 minute. What did you regret from the rest? Unfortunately, I will not be talking about that, but I will say that I think I could have added more engaging portions. At least one more engaging section to it, probably. I had a few, but I think maybe it was a little bit too much downtime, personally. In your opinion, is it better to showcase one game that you stream or showcase a compilation of different games? Doesn't matter. In my opinion, personally, I think strictly speaking, it doesn't matter as long as they're good clips. But if you want to give more variety, maybe a good clip from a slower game, a good clip from a high action packed game. If you think you're a really good FPS gamer, definitely include an FPS game. If that's what your selling point is. If you're a cozy streamer, give them a clip of you doing some really nice ASMR maybe, or maybe you're really good at flirting with people and you want to show off your best sides. Show them that. Show them those sides. All right. I'm going to... So be Zanny? Don't be Zanny. We don't need another Zanny. We have Zanny already. Does it matter if the clips don't flow together? No, it doesn't matter. It does not matter as long as it's engaging. How would you clip stream stuff and then a singing clip, for example? 2 different sections of the video, probably. Have a singing section, then have a video game section. If you include a clip from saving on someone's instrument with someone else, does that help your cases and showcase your ability to collab? Yes. Yes, it does. I don't think you should highlight that you're a really good collaborator, but if you have a really good personality inside of collabs, maybe show your personality and your ability to get along with people through a clip, if you can. Otherwise, just show a really good part that you were highlighted in. Would talented skills such as languages, even if you're still studying them, and visual video editing while connecting the personality you want to audition for help a lot? Yes. I think you have a really good understanding of that already, so I think let me just reinforce that and say yes. If you are confident in those languages that you're learning, add them. If you're confident in your video editing skills, you don't need to directly tell them that, is the thing. You can say it, like that doesn't help it doesn't hurt your case to tell them, also I'm a really good video editor, check this shit out, you know. But it should speak for itself. It should speak for itself. If you claim to be a really good video editor, they will see throughout the video that you are a really good video editor, and it does help a lot too. I would say it does help a lot. What do you think about trying to convince another person you think would be a good fit to the audition? I mean, it's up to the other person, don't you think? If you're trying to convince somebody and if they don't want to join a corporate environment, if they don't think they're ready, don't pressure them to. Suggest it to them. Say, hey, I think there's auditions going on. I think this would be really cool if you did it. If they say like, no, I'm not ready, then they're not ready. If they're not confident that they're not ready, they're ready, then let it be. Don't force it onto them. They'll be ready when they're ready. And if they're never ready, then that just means they're comfortable where they're at. I think the corporate environments, not specifically. I would say that the corporate environment has a way of attracting people that want to better themselves, like immensely. People that are ready to put the grind down and really set themselves aside for something that they find very passionate. If they don't think that they are as committed to the idea of VTubing, if they just want to do it as a hobby, then let them be. Let them be. Would highlighting academic achievements help, especially if they help with the character you're auditioning for? Yeah. Say like, be like, I got like a bachelor's in this, got like all these different certifications, but you have to make it interesting. Make that a part of your video. Say just for example, I know you talked about botany before. If you're going for, I feel like the character that you're thinking of is you want them to be a more cool and scientific and like knowledgeable character. If they're going to be a cool and down-to-earth character, maybe make a very relaxing portion that really shows off your knowledge. But again, try to make it engaging in some way, or something that isn't just the knowledge itself. I think if you just give them the knowledge itself, they're not here to be lectured, they're here to be entertained. So make whatever you're doing to show off your academic skills entertaining. For me personally, I'm not a smart person, so I don't know how to make it entertaining. Is it okay to use clips with cursing on them? Yeah, I cursed. I swore in my audition video, but again, if you're gonna swear, it should not be crass and it shouldn't be crude. Just well, it shouldn't overstay its welcome. It shouldn't be a highlight, and it shouldn't punch them in the stomach with how foul your language is. But if you curse, it's fine. Be like, fuck, can't believe that happened. Shh. Don't curse too much. I would say don't curse too much. If there's a lot of cursing, it could be a bit distasteful. And then I look at my stream and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Do you have an idea of how much time you spent pulling together your audition? I don't think I'm comfortable to say. I feel like if I do tell you, people will use that as a frame of reference for what they should do. But that isn't the same case for everybody. So I'm not going to tell how long it took for me to make my audition video. You need to be comfortable with your audition video when you submit it, Sorry that I kind of dodged the question. But I think it's better in the long run. Just curious because I think I've heard some people do this in failed audition videos. Is name dropping in an audition another VTuber company? Yeah, no, bad. No, bad. That was a part of the taboo section of today's VOD or today's stream. Don't talk about how you're auditioning for like other companies. They don't care. No, they do not care. It's bad, and it would look really bad on you. It would look really bad on you. That is the one taboo that I came up with today. Don't say anything politically incorrect, and do not talk about other companies. They do not care. What they want to hear is that you're interested in their company and how committed you are into getting yourself a position in FSP. That's what you should be telling them, not that you have auditioned for other companies. Don't try and be the angry video game nerd with the amount of swearing. Oh yeah. Don't be a Gale Galleon either. It's better for your odds if you don't be a Gale Galleon. They didn't know what they were hiring when they got to me. They did not know. They had no idea. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. If I see one sneak in really quick, then I'm gonna answer it. But thank you guys all for stopping in, and hopefully this was very educational. Hope you guys learned something about life, auditioning and the pursuit of happiness. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. EDT, 3 p.m. PDT tomorrow for GeoGuessr, and I can promise you guys it's gonna be a shit show. Yeah, have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, if you have impersonations, use those too. Bye! The fate of your audition lies no further than your own hands. Speak up, show confidence, put your chest out, and remember, the world needs you. Show them what you have to offer. By the way, I'm raiding into Lucy, so stick around. Stick around. I'm raiding into Lucy. Give me a second. Hang on a second. I'm slow. I'm slow. Because I'm an idiot. I didn't check beforehand if he was going to be live. All right, there we go. Lucy Lunars, we love you. Bye!